Hello, this is Heather Hoffman, and I'm here today to share a couple of custom bookmarks that I created using some various reverse confetti stamps and confetti cuts and some solid cardstock in a couple of different coordinating colors. I'm starting off with just larger pieces of cardstock, and I knew the widest part of what I was going to embellish my bookmarks with was the sentiments. So I wanted to make sure they were wide enough to hold that. So I trimmed them down to 2.5 once I kind of laid my sentiments over to make sure I had the right width. Next, I wanted to create kind of a pointed top on these, and I'm using an older set of confetti cuts called edgers, and just taping those in place to create kind of a pointed top. Kind of gives a little interest to these. I'm going to trim off the bottom later, but I'm waiting until I get everything on there so I make sure they're cut to the right length. I did the main parts of the bookmarks with Reverse Confetti Aqua cardstock and Piggy bank, and I'm using the confetti cuts hang-ups too, and using just kind of tone-on-tone effects. So I'm using iced aqua for the darker one, and then flamingo cardstock for the other piece. And I cut out 2 different of those little hang-up tabs that are going to fit at the top. I wanted them kind of to be just the same color, but different shades of the same color. So I kind of went with that feeling. And as I set those over the top, I just have a standard, ignore the purple handle and everything, it's just a standard hole punch. It doesn't matter if it's a little bigger than the holes on these because it's going to go over the top so it won't show. And I used a pen once I got those centered where I wanted to mark the spot, so I made sure and cut the circles exactly where I wanted them so I could just line up that hole punch over those holes. All right, now to adhere those in place, since they kind of fold over the top, I just added a little bit of glue to both sides. I could set it in place, and because I used liquid glue, I could you can move it a little bit to kind of adjust and make sure you have it square where you want it before it finishes drying. So you could use a tape runner as well, but you just have to be a little more sure that you have it lined up where you want, since it'll be harder to move and adjust at that point. All right, now that those are on there, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiments. I'm using My Tribe stamp set for this. I just thought these were super fun for fairy tale style bookmarks. Since I'm doing a pink version and a blue version, I kind of thought these could be boy-girl, but I don't know. I don't think I'm too old to enjoy bookmarks like this either. I'm going to stamp those sentiments using Midnight Dye Ink. And once I get that one done, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the other one as well, making sure that I have a good deep dark impression there. Now I'm going to add the cute little images. These are from Magical Day stamp set. I'm using the little dragon and then the little princess. Just because, they both fit a good fairy tale story theme. Now I'm doing tone on tone with my stamping. So I used Lagoon Dye Ink to make sure it was just a bit deeper. And then I used Flamingo Dye Ink for the princess. That way they're tone on tone, but enough darker that they show up well. At this point, now that I have everything on, I went ahead and picked where I wanted to trim off those bottom pieces. So they're going to be different sizes, which is totally okay because I wanted them just to be perfectly custom sized to fit my sentiments and my fun little images. All right, these are solid cardstock, so it felt like they needed a little more fun interest. I have a mini mister bottle that I keep filled with a mixture of white acrylic paint and water. So I'm just carefully adding a few little splatters just kind of around the edges, the bottom right corner and the top left corner. You can mix together a little white paint and water on a palette or a clear block and flick it on with a paintbrush as well. All right, for one final bit of texture and sparkle, I'm going to use some clear sparkly Nuvo drops on just some selected parts of the princess there, part of her dress and part of her hat and kind of the streamers coming down, and then each of her feet. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glossy accents onto the little horns and the wings on the dragon. Once these dry, they'll add a great little bit of texture and shine without needing to color these images in. It just kind of added a fun little touch to them. All right, there we go. Sparkly and fun and a little bit of shine on that one. Thanks so much for coming by today. I hope you enjoyed and this inspires you to make your own fun bookmarks to use. Have a great day. Bye-bye.